Brown butter and raisin cookies. They're a real treat, and what makes them so special is the golden brown butter element. So you're going to need 250 grams of butter, and I'm using good quality Australian certified organic butter. You're going to need a whole block of unsalted butter for this. So into a pot, we're going to turn that onto a medium heat. And what I like to do is just melt this completely. Now, you don't want to be using that butter straight away, so I highly recommend melting the butter, pouring it into a bowl just like this, and letting it cool completely. You can pop it in the fridge if you like, or you can just leave it at room temperature. But you'll see that it starts to solidify slightly. Okay, so into a bowl, we're going to add our lovely golden butter. We'll pour that in. Oh, and you can see the little speckles of brown there. That is what makes this very different to your average cookie. So in with the butter. And I'm just using a little hand mixer here. I'm going to blend this until it starts to become pale. Then I'm going to be adding the sugar. Now I use two different varieties of sugar, caster sugar and some brown sugar. Okay, so I've been whisking that for about 3 minutes. You can see that it's light and fluffy. Now it's time to add the eggs. Now I like to add the eggs one at a time, just so they incorporate really well. So one egg, we'll give it a whisk and then add the second one. I'll also add 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. Looking very good. We'll pop it to one side, and now for the dry ingredients. So into the bowl, I'm using some plain flour, and we'll pop that in there along with some baking powder. I like a good pinch of salt with this, and some raisins. Now what I've done with these raisins is just soften them in some boiling water for about 10 minutes and then drain them off. They can go in. You can see I add a lot of them. And some oats just to tie everything together. So then I'll just grab a fork and we'll just mix this up. Now, it may look like a lot of dry ingredients for that amount of butter and egg, but they are cookies, so we're looking for a dough consistency. So I'm just going to add half of this now, and we'll just start to fold it in with the fork, and then I'll add a little more. All right, and the second amount can go in, and I might use a spatula here, and then we'll fold it through, okay? And you may have noticed that I used 2 separate sugars at the beginning. I like to use a combination of brown sugar and the caster sugar, so we get a bit of a chewy biscuit. I kind of like it not to be too crunchy. Okay, you need a bit of elbow grease right at the end there, because we do form a dough, and it's looking really good. We'll just move this to one side as we prepare our trays. I like to use 2 trays for this because you need lots of space when you're cooking cookies. So 2 trays, and I'm going to line them with some Glad Bake so they don't stick. We'll just place 2 on there. 1, 2. And here's a little trick to form your cookies. I think it's a great idea to use an ice cream scoop. So this is about 1.5 tablespoons. And then all we do is just place that mound onto the board. So I'm going to portion this out first, 2 on each line. And then what I like to do is just grab that mound of cookie dough, roll it into a ball. We'll place that on the tray and just press down on it so it's got lots of space to spread. So I'll make this into the oven, 160 degrees, and they're going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. Out of the oven, they've cooled down slightly, and the smell is just the absolute best. Brown butter cookies, they're worth that extra step because you get that really lovely smell And the taste, well, I better have a taste just so I can explain how good they are. Break that one in half. Ooh, see that? A cookie that's crispy on the outside, still a bit chewy. Let's have a taste. A butter cookie. There's nothing better. Put that recipe on your list and make them. You'll love them.